It's Guido coming at you with a coffee talk from the left side of the Atlantic, and it is the 10th of July.
Oh yeah, and it's Pilgrim from the correct side of the Atlantic with his mug of Royal Blend tea in an old school Guido mug. Get one today. No offers today,
No
unfortunately.
offers today,
But get one today.
because they've been flying off the shelf, so we don't have to. We don't have to
No.
try to, make it a better deal.
We're making $1.
Yeah, every mug. I don't know. I've sold,
Yeah, every
I've,
mug is a mug.
I've sold four, and I think two of them are to me,
Yes, exactly.
and one of them to Pilgrim. I don't know where the fourth one went. We were almost exactly on time. I had everything set up. In fact, I think you can hear us. Nobody's complained about it so far, so I think I got that part right. And then realized I didn't have my coffee. I mean, can you have a coffee talk without a coffee or a tea?
Yeah, or anything. In
Or
fact,
anything.
any beverage.
You must have a beverage.
Yes.
Good morning, everybody. We got Stickler, Brute. What's happening, man? Randall, Midnight, Eighth Hussers. Good morning to everybody. Obviously, to you as well, Pilgrim.
Yes. Good morning to you, Guido, and all the colonials who are watching today.
All you silly colonials. Well, what's going on, man?
Yeah, well, what's occurring is the word, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is occurring?
What is
What's
occurring?
been happening?
Well,
I think vacation is kicking in soon.
yeah, I am officially on vacation. I got started last night, and so now
Yeah.
I have a slight headache. So
Yeah, well, vacation equals alcoholic
I would-
stupor.
I went to the pub and had some nice new beers, and I went down to the club and sat on the porch and watched the sunset. And man,
Cool.
I wonder, it was a good one, man. I should have actually put the picture on. Well, I'm gonna do it though. I'm gonna do it how old people do it, right? Watch
I
this.
do it.
Watch this is how Pilgrim's gonna show you a picture. There,
Oh, there you go. That's what
I'm
I
gonna
do.
show you a picture of the sunset.
Wow, that's
Oh.
amazing. Do you want to see my sunset picture? Do you want to see mine?
Yeah. Is it on your phone?
Yeah. Yeah, it's on my phone.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
look.
kind of got a blue star on it. Little blue
That's
star.
it. That's it. That's a wandering star.
Good morning, Leaf fan. Grumpy old man. What's happening, guys?
Check them out. Look.
Channel news. All right. Very important. No coffee talk or streams for about 3 weeks. The next stream will be coffee talk on July 31st, guys. So you're going to have to do without me.
To add to that, just to keep everybody interested, and I'll keep repeating this,
And there was much rejoicing. All right. Yeah.
there was much rejoicing. Way!
Yeah.
So we'll do a massive competition, a raffle on the 31st. So be there or be square. A raffle on the 31st. First prize is 10,000 gold. Second prize is 5,000 gold. Third prize is 500 gold. Okay, so there's going to be 3 raffles, if you like, for a descending order of prizes on the 31st of July to celebrate the return from vacation.
That's right. The boys
For
will
want
be
of a better
back.
reason.
The boys will be back in town.
You
know what I should have done? What I should have done was figure out a way to do like older. I think you can do that. Maybe if I have a little bit of time today, I might try to just schedule. I think you can do that with Twitch. Schedule old recordings just for giggles.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But anyway, there you go. Not that anyone really cares that much, but we won't be around for about 3 weeks. So yeah, I am flying. Somebody asked that question. We're actually going over to. Yeah, I wish it was my bar, Leaf fan. I really, yeah, that's just a found on the internet picture. Going to Blighty, so I'm going to head over there and visit the wife's family.
Yeah, he's bringing Lend Lease over with him again because we need it.
I'm bringing my 18-year-old son and my 20-year-old daughter who have it in their brain that they're going to go pubbing and clubbing.
Wow. Okay. Well, you see, the legal age to drink in the UK is 18. So
That's why I
yeah.
mention it. Yeah.
Whoops.
Yep. So we'll see. We'll see about that. How much of that's going on?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Dad has final word on that particular
Yeah.
instance.
Uncle Ernie's is good, Grumpy. Absolutely. Uncle Ernie's is a great place. Sit on the back porch. Ever since they rebuilt it, it's larger and it's a very cool place. Yep. I don't particularly care for their entrees, to be honest with you, but going there and having a drink, and all of their apps are really nice. All their appetizers. I've always found
That's nice, isn't it? That's nice.
Yeah.
It's about the ambience, never mind the alcohol. The alcohol can be like root beer if you want.
Yeah.
Know what I mean? It's about what the atmosphere is like, isn't it, when you go somewhere like that?
We get our fish and chips. It's a little village on the D estuary, which I cannot remember what it's called right now.
Parkgate.
Parkgate, thank you. I knew you knew it. There's a fishy down there, a chippy, and that's where we go.
Yeah, know enough about that. I
Yep.
used to go walk in the Parkgate front, used to get my fish and chips, and then next door was Nichols, the ice cream parlour.
Yep.
Where you used to get the old homemade ice creams, should I say. So yeah.
We'll walk from the Heswell through the kind of around and actually across the golf course,
Yep.
and then down to the waterfront.
Yeah, you go
And-
past the Hamilton, the Lady Hamilton, which is a pub.
Yes,
And
it's
it's
on the
still
corner.
there, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Yeah, on the
Yep,
corner.
yep. And there's a park there where you can actually park your cars and kind of go up and around and
That's
stuff.
good.
But we'll come from that direction past it and walk down to Parkgate and have our food. It's nice.
Yeah, it's a good, and you get potted shrimp and all sorts of stuff from there as well. So it's cool.
Yeah, they've got the sausages and whatever you want, but I'm only there for the fish and chips, and
Fish
my
and
wife's
chips.
there for the fish and chips and mushy peas, which is
Hey, mushy peas! Fantastic.
horrible stuff. Horrible stuff.
Oh, dear.
Generally, I'm on board with all the country
Yes.
favorites and things, but I just
Yes, you can't do mushy peas.
yeah.
It's a shame, really, because it would put hairs on your chest, mate.
It'll do something to you.
Yeah.
I can't get past the neon green mushy part. It's because they're a
How many-
special. When I don't know what they make their mushy peas out. Obviously peas, but I don't know if it comes pre-mushed or how that all works. But it is the most neon, unnatural, weird green color when it's mushy peas on top of fish and chips.
It's all natural colouring, you know. It's not. There's no chemicals in that.
Are you sure? I mean, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's
Oh yeah.
that, that pile of mushy peas
yes.
it's a
like-
color I don't recognize. I'm like, what?
That colour. You're like,
Oh man.
should I eat this or should I use it to strip the paint off
Yeah.
the fence?
And you can. What are the little fried? Is it pierogi or what is that? They always have some of those like a. I don't know what it is. It's a. It's usually it's like an Asian thing. It's not really a egg roll, but it's like breaded, but it's got stuff inside it.
Yes, I know what you mean. It's a
Isn't it a
spring roll. Do they not call it spring roll?
Yeah, they have spring
No.
rolls, but they also got the breaded ones. Like it's a pierogi or whatever. I think it's an Indian
Oh, okay.
thing.
All right.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, put bhaji, onion bhaji. No?
Bargy. Never mind. That's
Bargy.
what it is. It's
There you go.
there you go.
Bargy.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Bargy. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's cool. Yeah, leave the cannabis oil at home. Says just around midnight.
Yeah. Stickler says it's English guacamole. That's actually pretty funny. I suppose because people dip their chips in it, right?
Yeah, oh
Yeah.
yeah. Or if you're not into mushy peas, you can in some places have curry sauce. And you
Oh,
can
that's
have that.
right. I think they do that
Yeah.
too. I forgot about
The old curry
that.
sauce.
Yeah.
The whole business about mushy peas and curry sauce is that they're in pots that have been set up, lit, and filled 25 years ago and just kept topped up. This stuff is like ancient. It's almost Neanderthal. It's been in the pot that long, and that's why it's so good.
I just want to douse mine in vinegar and go to it.
Salt and vinegar.
Malt vinegar and there's always a lot of salt. Douse
Yeah.
it in.
Who
Douse
cares
it in,
about your arteries?
Yeah, douse it in malt vinegar and off you go.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
All right, so yep, that's what's happening, my friends. I will have videos on YouTube. I've already got all that set up. I built all those things. There's a new series coming with. It's very short videos, minute to 2 or 3 at the most, and it's just quick tactics, specific things that I'm talking about. So let me know what you think of that for those of you who watch the YouTube stuff. So that's it for channel news, man. Missions and specials. Let's
get the
do
shill
it.
on?
Yeah, let's start shilling, man. Should we?
Why not?
Let's make some
There's
money for
loads to
wargaming.
chill. Why
'Cause-
not? Let's earn our 10%.
because they're just on a
Throwing it out
sale-a-thon.
there.
They're just on a sale-a-thon. The deals. Well, I won't say deals. The sales. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Are just coming hot and heavy, man. What do you guys think of that? I don't know. It's just always a sale. It seems like, you know.
More and more, everything you look at seems to be spend your dollars. Spend your dollars.
Yeah.
I don't know whether they're out of ideas or they're just they're working on future marathons or something like that. But it's just like spend your dollars.
Yeah.
Look at this. We've got the Lansons. We've got this. We've got that. We've got this speedy loading medium trio. Blah blah blah. Spend your dollars.
Yeah. Yeah, we could green screen it. We've that's something we've discussed actually. I kind of like this format though sitting in our offices, I guess for the chat format. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff being sold there. I think there is some kind of good news, and we'll get to it later. But there does appear to be some effort at doing some small changes to maps, rebalancing tanks, things like that. So there are some of those things on the horizon that are coming up.
Yeah.
But we've talked about it a couple times. I still get this feeling that they're a little untethered right now with all the changes and things. Like they're not exactly sure where they're going, or maybe they're in the midst of going somewhere else with all of this.
Yeah, I think you're probably much hitting the nail on the head as far as I'm concerned, Guido. It feels very much like they're sticking to what they've got, what they know, without trying to do anything else. It's all old, isn't it? There's nothing new being crept in anywhere at the moment because they're not quite sure where they're going with everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't mind putting a bit of money into it if it's worth it.
Yeah, Stickler, we'll talk about that. For me, the gist of it is, yet again, and per the video I put out, I think last week, it's fine if you want to nerf overperforming tanks. But if all you're going to do is touch the tech tree stuff, then
Yes.
I mean, what's the point, really?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. You just crushed the best performing tech tree tank, which could compete with all of your premiums.
Yeah.
I don't know what that does for your game, to be honest. It is. We'll get to it because we're going to look at the stats. But the T-29 is a prime example of a tank that does need nerf, and you can tell in the stats by looking at it. So it's low hanging fruit for them. It's very easy to look at that and say, "Yep, that's the one that needs nerfing."
But why? Why would it need nerfing? We're going to talk about it later on. So I'll throw that question out. Why nerf the T-29?
Well, I'll tell you why. When we get there, I'll tell you why they think and why it's a valid thought, except for the fact that they don't touch the premiums. Right, so there's two things going on there. Anyway, all right, let's.
We'll get to that.
We will get to that. The Lanson is for sale. So what are the price points now for the Lanson? $31.88. Okay, not bad.
Well, for the standard, yeah.
Just for that. The Kampfpanzer's out for $37. Apparently, they think that's more popular. That's a significant difference. $6 difference. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why.
I don't know. I feel like they're. I feel like they tried to standardize their prices a little bit about 2 or 3 years ago. I don't remember how long it's been now, but my brain says maybe a year ago, but I'm pretty sure it's probably been 2 or 3. You remember that when they decreased some prices and they kind of rearranged them. They brought everything more or less. Mediums kind of cost this, and heavies kind of cost this, and that feels like that's starting to go off into multiple directions again. So you've
got to say though, who's actually doing the data research behind each tank to give it the price point that they give it, or is it just pulled out of thin air? You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's based on performance. That's what I'm going to grab right now.
Yeah.
I think it's quite tied to how popular they are, which is quite tied to how well they perform, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm just going to see if that makes sense here, because where's the Kampfpanzer in win rate? There it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then I know the Lanson's way down here.
Yeah.
Just really quickly, DPG. Kampfpanzer is down a ways, but I think the Lansen is maybe worse. Not by much, but it is below it. So, and then battles. What do we got? Popularity of the tank itself, 95,000 in the Kampfpanzer, and the Lansen has only been played. Oh, there it is. Oh, it's right below it. So the popularity of games, they're about the same.
Yeah.
So
I think the availability of those two tanks over the last couple of years has been about the same as well. It feels like, the Lansen has been sold on a number of occasions, and I think also the Kampfpanzer has as well. So it's not like there's more of one type of tank in the game. There may well be a difference, but not that big.
I mean, the Lansen is actually, this is 51.35. The Lansen is actually 2 percentage points lower, just about, in win rate. That's the only significant difference, though. And for the rest of the stats, they seem to be a little bit closer, maybe. Yeah, I mean, frags 0.87. So that's an odd one, really. I mean, yes, win rate wise, if you were going to tie it to stats, I guess you could make an argument that the Kampfpanzer's win rate is quite a bit better. So, but they're both played about the same amount. So honestly, why is there a $6 difference? That one's, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, make Pluto great again makes a very good point, actually. It's great. Put some cash into the accounts because the big move or whatever it is. Yes, let's get things sold and let's buy stuff and let's support World of Tanks. But when they do stuff like he says there, $60 to $80 for a tier 3 tank, then you've got to say a lot of the newer players who are getting up to tier 3, tier 4, and they see that, who's going to sink $80 into a game like this if they've only just played it for up to tier 3?
I have a video coming. To your point. I explained this in the video, but essentially I'll explain it to you guys here. Sometimes I'll go to wattreplays.eu and I'll sort it and search it for most damage, most experience, whatever. And I sat down and I thought I was being very clever. I'm like, ooh, I wonder what the highest damage game is at tier 5 in the last whatever days. So I sort it. Now, if I'd have thought about it for half a second, I'd have come up with the tank that it probably was going to be. Because when I saw it, I immediately went, oh, right, I forgot about that stupid thing.
Yeah.
So I sort, and it's the 5.4, the Panzer 5.4, the tank at tier 5 that probably should be a good tier 6 and a subpar tier 7. Yeah. But it's at 5.
Yeah.
Reference the whole premium thing we've been talking about. It is, I think, as I recall, one of if not the highest win rate tank in the game. Yes. No, that's a version of it. Wait, no, let me sort it correctly. There we go. Yes. So that's the one that people own, the 5.4. 63, you know what I mean? All right. So I do that and I find, I'm like, okay. But it is an outrageous game. It's a 6,000 damage game with 12 kills. And I'll give you guys one guess where this happened. 12 kills and like 2,400, 2,300 base XP.
It's either got to be RU or EU, isn't it?
No.
Where do
you think you probably did it?
Oh, South America.
Yeah, Doctor Who nailed it immediately. Yeah. So there's about 7 bots on each side, 6 or 7 or 8 or something like that.
Just farm 7 bots and then go after the live ones. Or the other way around.
Yep. And then I'm stealing my own thunder, but you guys will love the video, I think, or hate it. Hate it, probably. The guy, I'll leave his name out of it. It's in the video. You can find it. The dude he's a professional seal clubber. He has I want to say it's an 82% win rate overall or some crazy thing. At least in that tank it is, but it's in the 70s or 80s. And he spends all his days clubbing seals on South America, apparently.
Oh, what floats your boat, mate? You know what I mean?
And the description on the upload for Watt Replays was a very unique game, or a very rare. It's like a very rare game. I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
Yeah, probably has that every other week.
A very rare game on clubbing bots on South America at midnight. That's awesome. All
That's
right.
the way to do it, eh?
That was good, though. We're off track on that. That was excellent. Let's see. We got the Scorpion out there. These are all the standard things here.
Yeah.
Nothing really to, other than the sales they're pushing. But these, the Kampf Panzer and the Lancet are only here for another day, guys. So if that's something you're interested in, that's how long you have to get it. Nothing going on with the gold.
Yeah, the same with, I think, also Golden Premium. This we're still sort of bouncing from the Christmas gold, I think. I don't think that they've got any intention to discount any of this.
Yeah, Eighth Hustlers, you're right. It absolutely gets padded on South America, which is, and he's got it 3 marked. So it's, and people do a lot of their work on the South America server. I think for the riggers, which I found one the other day, for the rigging crew and the people who are selling tanks, the boosters, I guess would be a good word for them. That's where they do their work.
Yeah.
Because it's just a low population. You can do it on NA2 very late, but there's even fewer on South America, so it's even easier down there. So, and you can have an NA account and you can play on either server. So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tanks wise, this is all the same stuff. Really, nothing of major note is out there. You still can get these styles though. They're not bad. I did end up buying them.
Oh, did you? Did you get the British one?
Yeah, I got the red coat and the Revolutionary.
Cool.
I think Wargaming actually gave them out to the CCs because I believe I have 2 copies of everything now. So I wish I'd have known that.
Could sell them.
Sell them.
I bet you can't.
Sell them on eBay.
Yeah.
One red coat paint job, never used. Only shot at once and he ran.
Somebody somewhere will probably buy that off you, Whatever.
Only forced out of the Americas once.
Yes, exactly. Only got scorch marks on the back of the coat once.
All right. Yeah, there's just, I don't know. Despite the fact that there's a lot for sale, there's not a whole lot for sale. IS-3A, I don't know. The Renegade's probably worth having. Most of you probably have it. The Scorpion, certainly. The Suma's interesting, but I don't know if I would say, ooh, everyone needs a Suma.
No. Play style.
Yeah. The 1350, everyone needs a 1357, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Or a variant of that.
That's just
or one of the others.
That's just a fun tank.
It is.
It's a brutal little monster. It really is.
Well, it is endgame. It's horrible endgame when you come across that and it's got a full clip.
Yeah.
And you've got like 100 HP left in your tank. You're like, oh, shit.
Was somebody mentioning this thing earlier? The Panzer II Mini Mouse thing? You said something about $80 tank.
Oh, yeah, $60 to $80 tank for a 3-tier tank.
Yeah.
Tier 3 tank, sorry.
Well, it's bundled with a lot of garbage that you may or may not want.
Yeah.
Like, what's it got? 10,000 gold. So that's, which is 10,000 gold? $50 or so?
Yeah,
$40.
I could give it, yeah,
$40, $45
yeah.
for 10,000 gold. 7 days of premium, sometimes 5s and some boosters and garbage, and then you get the Panzer III Mini Mouse, which is not what it used to be. Teal Wiz, thanks, man. Much appreciated on the resub. Thank you. So that's pretty much everything going on with that, fellas. That was a low effort shill.
Was it worth using the battery power to make the blue light flash? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think we went backwards economically. It was a overall loss.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think we've made 10 cents on the dollar on this one, have
God,
we?
I think you're right, man. Let's go over to the UI and see what's what over here. Because
Doctor Who prefers the 1375, which is, that's what I'm saying. Any of the variants, each to your own, but I like them all. I mean,
Yeah, the Tech Trio, and I think it's just as good. Yeah, it's fun, that little autoloader on the 1357, and it reloads its clip so fast. It's just a little monster, man. But I hear what you're saying. All right, so Battle Pass stuff. Looks like I finished mine. We've got the weekly Watcher mission, guys, or code is Go the Extra Mile.
Yeah. Go the extra mile. What does it get you?
You get a mission, which is this one, which I guess I've done it already. No, that's the weekly Watcher, not sorry.
Watching.
That's not Commander AF's mission. Commander's AF mission is this, which will get you the emblem Pila and a couple extra combat rations. So there you go. And a rental LT-432.
Yeah.
Which is a nice little tier 8 light tank.
Yeah, it's cool. It's low silhouette. You put the right kit on it, you probably do as well as any other light tank. In fact, probably better, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a nice
I
little...
do like it.
It's kind of one of the better combat light tanks. It plays the role of a medium much better than most of them.
Yeah. And it can bounce. It's got quite good armor for a light tank.
For a light tank, yeah, it can definitely be tricky. Weekend challenge is what was going on this weekend, guys. That's a special. That's just some kits and things like that. Wargame didn't want cannot redeem war due to technical issues. Oh, geez. Try again later. I think it'll work. Watch Salute. We got Synth Waves. That's the Twitch thing. Make sure you've got that going on. The FV is on track. That won't be a bummer all week, every month. Commander AF mission, and that's pretty much it for the UI.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Very important stuff here. Your two things are going to end here in the next day or two. The first one is road trip. So go to your depot. Go to this little guy here, whatever, parachute, and then you've got two things in here. You've got the Twitch drops, which is ongoing, but the road trip gift shop is going away, looks like on the 14th. So road trip's ending, I guess, on the 10th. Yeah.
Yeah, 10th.
So they're giving you 4 days to redeem, but if you didn't know, you've probably got a bunch of miles or tokens or coins or whatever they're calling them this time that you can redeem stuff. I left this for you guys so you can see how you do it, for those of you who don't know. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to play a little bit so I can get another couple miles. Also, there were codes each day for miles that I was not aware of.
Right, yes. Remember we touched on it, but I don't think we went into that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I tried to do them, and they've all expired. I don't know if there's one for today. I assume so. If anyone knows what that today's code is, chuck it down there. And I don't really know where you get them, honestly. Anywho, what am I going to get? Let's get, should I get consumables or do I want these things? That's pretty good, plus 300%. But I also like the consumables, 3. I'm just getting these.
Just get them.
Yeah, I'm just going to get
because
those.
you've got everything else.
I know, I've got all that stuff. Which gives me down to 1 coin, so I'm probably not playing enough today to get a whole bunch more. Anyway, there you go. Just FYI, if you use all your coins the way they've mech'd the UI, that shop will go away. But then when you get more coins, it will come back. So don't panic. If you happen to zero out your coins, that doesn't show up anymore, which is whatever. Just a little quirk of how they did it. The second thing then is, what is it? Assembly shop ends.
Oh, yes, it does. Yes,
Yeah.
it does. Yeah.
Can you still get
So if
to
you
it?
haven't got your tier 10,
Wait a minute.
how do you
get to it?
That's a good point.
Can I
That's
not?
a good point. Yeah.
Is it actually gone? Random special team.
Hang on.
Where is the button for that? Is it over here? The ribbon next to Battle Pass. This thing. Thank you. There it is. All right. That's how you do it. I think probably everyone's got them that wants them. How many are left, Pilgrim? Are you in your UI?
I'm not in the UI, so I don't know. If I go in the UI, we won't be doing Discord.
Yeah, my understanding was it was 5,000 still left.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Not that interested then.
In EU, I think they're gone. I think they sold out in EU.
Yeah.
I think 5,000 make Pluto great again. If anybody knows, check out the number. If anyone's around their UI on NA and does not own it. Now I've been playing the Kunza a bit, and set it up with the CVS. Now I just set up 2 equipment setups with it. One of them is the combat, turbo vents and a rammer. And initially what I did is I had vents, rammer, and CVS, and I've broken out into even more of a vision setup here, but I ran it for quite a while with the CVS, rammer, and vents. And I was telling Pilgrim I had an 8,000 spotting game on proc with this little booger.
It's the right map to do it, as we said, though, wasn't it?
I mean, yeah, but I mean a CVS on a medium, it's pretty powerful in a bunch of maps.
Yeah. I mean, any open map is going to be like that, I guess. None of the city maps. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Oxford says there's 5,039.
Right.
Of the 780s left. That's interesting, actually. I mean, I don't know, what does that say? Does that say anything? Obviously, they overestimated how many they needed on NA to entice people.
Yeah.
Or NA is a lot smaller maybe than they thought. I don't know.
Or it's not op enough for people to buy it.
Okay, good point. Good point.
You know what I mean? It's not OP, it's not a defender, it's not, you know what I mean? It's just a fairly average tier 10.
What I did not look at, it would take a little digging to figure out, but looking at server population to amount of tanks offered.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually.
Were they a similar ratio, or did we get a lot more to in relation to our server population?
Yeah. Given that they probably feel that the NA is more cash affluent than the EU, so would they bump up the numbers, anticipating that the big spend?
Right. Did they do that? I haven't looked at the numbers. That's one hard one to nail down, because the amount of population and the amount of people play, that's 2 different numbers.
Yeah.
And you can see that as they do a average of, or a daily, how many people were on and all that. But somewhere in there they did some kind of math to figure out how many they were going to offer. And they over offered somehow, whatever the calculation was. Or they overestimated how much the NA players would spend to get it, or how many NA players would spend that much to get it, however you want to look at that. But 5,000 is a bunch to still be sitting around.
Yeah. Given that, I think, was the original something in the region, was it 20,000 originally?
What? Was
it 20,000?
Yes, no, it was 20,000.
Was it less than that?
What was EU? 20,000 numbered, and then another group or something like that? I don't remember.
Something like that, yeah. I seem to remember, yeah.
Doctor says 20,000. T.O. Wiz brings up a good point. I'm spending more on groceries and gasoline and less on tanks.
There's that, cost of living crisis going on at the moment,
Yeah. So that may have had a play in it as well, but it didn't stop EU from getting rid of them all.
No, they sold out, didn't they? So...
But like I've said before, though, on my video about it, you could spend $200 and get it, but a lot of people have been around a long time, had all the doodads available. They had all the free experience, and that was a sunk cost. They'd already played the game that much. Now they might have made a decision that it wasn't worth it.
Yes.
But it's not like the majority of people who got it actually paid cash.
Well, you don't feel that the large majority just went and bought it, bought gold and used that, or anything like that. You think they used resources to get it?
I'm sure that happened, but I'm with you. I think it was just sunk resources people used, with maybe some gold around the edges, depending on how much stuff they had or whatever. But I don't know. El Skinto, how are you? Good morning. El
Skinto is just like I'm feeling right now.
What's that?
Having paid for the vacation, I'm feeling very El Skinto right now.
Same. Man, I paid a lot of money for those tickets. Oh my goodness gracious!
Isn't it horrendous? Just as a complete tangent, I mean, I don't know about you, mate, but I've not had a vacation in three and a half years now because of COVID and all that nonsense. So your first vacation where we're let loose and they've doubled the prices on everything, man.
Yeah.
From I mean, it's got to be done. We've saved the money to do it, but it's a hard hit. It really is.
Yeah.
When you go to the same hotel that you've been going to for years, and you look at the price list and you go, "What?
Yeah.
What are you offering that's double the price?"
Nothing.
Nothing.
As a
Not
matter
even
of fact,
facial.
probably a little less than you're
Yeah,
used to.
probably. The portion sizes on the meals have gone to like that. You know what I mean? The pool is only half full of water.
Got to bring a bucket from your room with you to toss it in there.
You've got to bring your own water.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know.
Okay, so road trip ends. Team Blue won. So I think people who picked Team Blue, maybe that's where I got the extra.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
Possibly. Let's show you what I'm talking about.
I can't remember who I picked, actually. I think I picked the opposite to you. I think I picked Team Red.
Did you?
Yeah, which is probably why.
Well, of course you would.
Of course I would.
You got to go with the home team.
Yeah,
right?
exactly that. I'm not going to, I'm not going to support the Colonials.
So that's the red coat. And then that's the Revolutionary. Which actually looks all right.
Yeah, it's all
I mean, it's kind of goofy, but actually looks pretty cool on this particular tank.
Yeah, because of it does actually, doesn't it?
Yeah, because you can't really see what's going on. It just a
Yeah,
good...
yeah.
Anyway, there you go.
Well, that's the other point. That's the other top tip of the day. Top tip of the day. If you're going to put camo on your tank, put something that disrupts the visibility of your weak points. Makes it harder to see them, but from an enemy point of view.
Yeah, yeah.
So you've got like scrambled eggs all over your tank. Those little weak points that we always aim for. You're like, is it that? Is it? And there's a little bit of hesitation when you've got all that camo smacked all over it.
Yeah. Yeah, the visual piece. I think you can... A lot of people turn that stuff off.
Turn it off, yeah.
Yeah.
Non-historical
So that you
stuff.
don't have to see it.
Yeah.
All right, so that's that. And Assembly Shop we talked about. The NAEU show matches today, if you're interested in that. It's a 7v7 thing going on. Somehow tied to Independence Day,
yeah.
I guess, sort of.
Well, here's the rub. Team Flame, was it called? Team Flame for the NA? I think
Yeah.
it was. Anyway, here's the rub. They're calling it Independence Day, of which it was the United States versus the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
So where does the EU come in on this? I know the French got involved later on when you were winning, because that's what the French do. They just jump in on the winning side towards the end. They never really get in from the beginning, do they?
Yeah.
They tend to run away a lot. But where does the EU come into this Independence Day of yours?
Well,
I
it's
don't
like
know. I didn't see the EU throwing tea at you.
it's like everything the EU does. They just jump in and claim it, right?
Claim ownership, yes.
Yeah.
Scumbags that they are.
All right, so this is actually for money, which could be kind of interesting. It starts at 12 Central, so a couple hours after we're done here, a couple 3 hours after we're done here. If you want to check that out, you can also there's drops going on EU. Although this will be the NA. You can watch it probably on the EU channel as well.
Yeah, there is as well.
So you can get your drops. You should be getting drops today too for the weekend stuff as well. So drops all around. So that's going on. And what else we got? I think that's it for missions and specials. Yep.
Well,
I think
hello,
that's it.
Zimbo in the house.
Hey Zimbo,
Hello,
what's
hello.
happening?
Yeah.
So, subjects du jour. We got, at first I thought we didn't have a whole lot, but actually I think it turns out we have a pretty good amount of stuff. First things first, patch 1.17.1, which is just a lot of technical stuff. It's available for preload. I don't think it's a very big patch, so whether you need to preload it or not, I don't know, but that's up to you. I've never really bothered with it. The day I turn it on and the patch shows up, I wait my 5-10 minutes and off we go. So
I've got it on auto, so it does it anyway. So
there
it
you
makes
go.
a yeah.
So you can set that up actually if you use Wargaming's Wargaming Center.
That thing.
Okay, the other thing we got then let's go back over the coffee shop here. We have some map changes coming up.
We do. Yes, very true.
All right, let's jump over here to one of the blogs. Get that reset up. There we go. And reference what we talked about earlier with the idea that there's not a lot going on. There kind of is some things going on. They're definitely working on maps. They're working on tanks. So the developers are still doing their developing thing. And I do like that they're looking at some of these maps. I'm a little bit curious what exactly they're thinking. But let's go over it, because we've got Sand River, Malinovka, and Oyster Bay, which Oyster Bay is I think one of the first ones that's coming out of Recon Mission.
Right, okay.
But we'll start with Sand River. And as everybody knows, trying to go up the hill over here where this one is a nightmare.
Yeah.
You just get shredded trying to do it. So they're going to change that, and what they're going to do is this. Switch it from this to these rocks, so you've got a way to get up there, which is kind of interesting until I looked at this and went, wait a minute.
That's dropped, hasn't it? Yeah.
Well, look what they did. They've created a hold down spot here, so people are going to go camp behind this rock. And also, interesting, this appears to be a encounter mode. So I don't know if we knew there was an encounter mode coming to Sand River, but that's a cap. So I don't know if they're changing. Remember, the cap is down in the pit.
Yeah. So if this is encounter mode, maybe because they've introduced this mode, they've had to do that change. Because
could be assault also. Could be assault also. So I don't know.
Couldn't it?
Yeah.
Because without that new map feature, that would be such an overpowered position. The opposite side, I mean, to cover that cap. That's probably why they've done it. Not because the normal map was, or the normal game was. I call it normal, but the cap versus cap game.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think they brought it in because they're going to introduce, as you say, either assault or encounter.
Well, they are trying to fix this position though, because you can't go up here without getting shredded. So they've taken it from this bare spot. They put rocks in the way instead of actually making the approach more or less safe.
Yeah.
Like the other side has, they threw some rocks in there, which you're still going to see dudes cross. They're still going to be already pounding you. Yeah. There's an open spot that you have to go by. That they, you know what I'm saying? I don't know.
To me, they should have extended that spur out further to hit the sand dunes, so you're covered as you go up.
Well, now that's interesting. I didn't notice this part. Hold on a minute.
Because they've dropped the sand.
Well, they've raised this up too, so this comes out. So I don't know. You might even be able to go up this way without too much danger.
Okay.
Looks like there's still a line of sight through here, but that's been extended out too. What this is going to turn into be also is a better fallback position when you're trying to come up over the top.
Yeah.
If people can run down here and hide and side scrape and fight you off as you're trying to come down the hill, so that's certainly going to change things on that map.
That'll be interesting.
This is the Armored Patrol, which is the only English one I have found lately that is actually updated in any way. You can go find most of this stuff over on Watt Express, but you got to fight through the translation stuff.
Yeah.
All right, so that's going on there, and then they are going to now, this was weird for me. A shorter way to area has been added to increase the speed of reaching the enemy who took position there, which is the corner.
Yep.
This spot here, this corner, which...
Well, I can't really figure that out. Yeah.
Nobody uses that. Who uses that?
Nobody uses that. Well, Artie maybe, but that was about it.
To make the firing positions in square K0 less toxic.
I don't get that.
Now I've seen people here. I've seen people here using, this, and I thought that's what they were talking about. Using this corner and stuff and trying to hold people up. As far as somebody being here, I guess you could put a cron there and fight pretty well, but you're going to be spotted. You're going to get pounded by Artie. I mean, I just can't remember the last time I saw somebody sit in that spot.
No.
Competitive players use it. Oh, so this is the This is more for Clan Wars stuff. Interesting. That's sort of what I thought, actually, in the back of my brain as I was going through this. I'm like, I wonder if that's a spot that the organized guys use quite a bit, because they're going to have a bunch of crons and stuff like that sitting there.
Yeah, yeah, that'll be the hold down position for a whole ton of stuff, crons, T95s, whatever. Yeah.
So essentially, all they've done with it, it's hard to see here, but they've kind of flattened out an approach so you can actually get there, because it's super hard to get there. The only way before, and they didn't show it, the only way before is from over here.
Yes.
And now they put a entrance in the middle, so you don't have to jump into the pit or go all the way around and get shredded trying to go by it or whatever. So a little bit easier to get up in there and take them on. And then they've changed this, the heavy brawling area in the middle. They've added some rocks. You can see there's bigger rocks and stuff here. More cover to kind of come in here. It's supposed to help you with getting shot in the side a bit. If you go like, you can see right here that there's an extra rock right in this spot over what was a big open area in the middle here. So there's some more options for side scraping and poking and peeking for the other side here. This has changed considerably right through here. It's supposed to give them some more cover. You can see some.
I don't get that, because if you're approaching from that side, you were virtually guaranteed to be shredded the minute you poked around the corner, because you've got all the TDs sitting back on the other base.
Right.
So I don't see how that helps you, to be honest. If you scroll back, if you can.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, and I don't know. What they said was, gameplay been revised. Firing positions have been added at different distances with different terrain. Positions for retreat in case of local defeat have been added. Okay, central area now provides cover against fire from tank destroyers and medium tanks on the lower part of the map.
See, I can't see that. Proof will be in the pudding when it comes out, but I can't see.
I mean, in theory, it's the east spawn getting some protection from all the guys who sit up here.
Yes.
But I don't really see how. It's hard to see how the lines of sight are changed.
No, that's what I mean. Because there's the workaround for any TD there will be to shift 5 meters to the left or the right.
I mean, it still looks like this sniper spot up here still has a direct line of sight down into the middle. So you're always going to be hugging this right side anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's some better terrain to fall back to, but as far as being able to push up in there and fight, I don't see a change here. Unless
I think it'll still be the pit of death. It really will be the valley of death.
I mean, I don't think this cover's high enough to stop these shots from coming down right into the middle.
No.
There's various things you can. I don't know, man. So I'm not really sure if it's doing what they think it's doing.
It'd be interesting when it comes out.
Yeah.
Have a look at it.
I don't see the benefit in enticing more heavies to go wallow around in that pit.
Yeah. No, exactly. I don't see it as being a. You're right, as an incentive to go and fight there.
Yeah.
I certainly not even with all that. I mean, I'll probably try it once to see what it's like and die very quickly, and then go. I'm not going there again then.
Well, Maldeith, make a good point. If you're back here, you're probably not going to be getting hit by that guy, but then you don't really have an ability to push because you're still getting hit. The problem of the TDs up there, you can't push. That's always been a problem. Much like the other side has a hard time coming around the corner. Even harder now that there's all this cover because the TDs that sit back up here. So I'm not sure what's being fixed here.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm struggling with that, but hey, proof is in the pudding.
Until you actually see it and play on it, it's hard to see, what has been. Now, this is really interesting. They're messing around with Malinovka a bit. I ran into this on stream, and it's not this position, but the one on the other side. There was a guy who was fast enough. I don't know if they're going to show it. They won't show it. I'll show it on the big map. The main map. Well, that won't go that much larger. Anyway, there was a guy that came. I was on the west cap. He was down the east cap over here. He came across, went right up along here in a 13105,
I remember that game. Yeah,
and I do not know how
he never got spotted.
I was in this bush.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that game.
I don't know how he got up into this bush,
Yeah, yeah,
our bush,
yeah,
and
yeah,
now maybe he came around this way and somehow I don't know because we had guys all over the place. Or I have no idea how he got that,
yeah,
but he got there,
yeah.
and I left my position and started moving around, and I got spotted. I'm like, hold, wait a minute, what?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I did back off and start turning around. So I don't know if when I left this spot, this bush, it was at the exact right time to let him get by without me seeing him. It's hard to tell. I was in a mana course, so it's very low to the ground. But I'm pretty sure this, even if you back off of this bush, you can see all this, no problem.
Yeah, because that's open. Your left flank is completely open. You would have seen him.
I mean,
But he must have had camouflage from
he
the
obviously,
angle.
yeah, he obviously figured out how to do it, and wow, that blew my mind. Anyway, so I start moving along here, and I get spotted by him. He's up here, and I can't figure it out. I thought, oh, is the top of my tank being spotted by their guy over here in a bush? What's happening? I went all the way over here, kind of spun around a bit, looked around on these bushes, and then they came back. And about right there, I get spotted again. I'm like, what on earth? And then I ran off this way. I took a hit, and I ran off this way. And then I worked my way back around. I got to here, and I got spotted again. I'm like, I am really befuddled here. What is happening?
Yeah.
I spun around and
Yeah.
got out of there. I came up this way, disappeared, and then I came back to these bushes and looked around for a second. And then I went forward, and I proxy lit him. I got close enough to find him. And it was a 13105 sitting in this bush right here, and he got shredded and eventually got killed pretty quickly. And then I was able to come across, and I got into these bushes. So what they're doing for this side
Yeah.
is making it a little easier to get into this position as you can up on this other position.
Which
on
is
the
the
side.
normal sort of position. Or you can get further forward. You can go to the bushes where that little tree is.
Yeah.
There's a little tree and a small fence. You can get there if you're quick enough.
So what they've done is they've taken this and they've smoothed it out a little bit, and they brought the bushes down a little, so you can actually go up this without being seen immediately. You can get into these bushes
Yeah.
from the other side. So you can see it looked like this, and now it looks like this.
Yeah.
There's a little bit more cover. I've never had a problem using this position, so I don't really know why that's such a big deal over here, but whatever. It looks like this now, and it's going to get changed to this after. You can see now you can kind of come up here, and this bush comes down a bit more than it does up here, so you'll be covered when you jump into those bushes. I never knew that was a problem. I guess
No.
if people use this position a lot, maybe they'll understand. I've been able to use this no problem. Yeah, you could get spotted trying to get into those bushes if somebody was sitting up in these trees, but I don't know.
It might be again coming down to Clan Wars thing. It might be a problem for the competitive
Right,
side.
could be.
Hey,
Yeah.
Zach Crow. Good morning.
Yeah,
Very early for the West Coast.
yeah, it could be. Maybe it is. But then, this is a good discussion as we're developing this game, and it goes to the premiums and the rewards and the whole what. What are you developing for? For the competitive side, for the random side? Are you trying to have your cake and eat it too? From a randoms player, that position's not a problem. I've never complained about the problem at that position. So I have a hard time understanding why they think it needs to be done. If you're a competitive guy and you look at that and go, yeah, that's been a problem competitive for a long time, then you ask the question, well, what are we developing for here?
Yeah.
I don't think it's
because your majority player base is your pubbies, is your normal players.
right.
It's not competitive.
Right.
So I don't know.
Well,
Who's got the biggest voice? Who's got the biggest voice and the biggest stick? We know that's the thing.
I think it changes for them. That's what I'm saying. There doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason to it. I know in case of the reward tanks, it's certainly about rewarding the competitive players because they haven't touched the chieftain.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they refuse to touch it, and they know it's bad. They've banned it from ranked.
Yeah.
They don't give it out every time.
No,
when
no.
they try to do this whole false scarcity thing, and
Yeah.
that commercial that we have in the States where the guy's dangling $1 and the guy tries to grab it, he's like, whoa, 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 you gotta be faster than that.
Yeah, fly fishing it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I know they've got to cater to all players, and you will have some. Let's well, for want of a better word, I don't like using it, but higher profile players who play competitive. So maybe their voice is loud enough that things can be changed on that basis.
yeah,
Or is it a generic change across the whole of wargaming based on what EU do, what NA do, what I don't know. I mean, the map change has to be across all servers, doesn't it?
sure,
It's not just
yeah.
NA getting the change.
Actually,
So,
that's a great question. In terms of RU, what happens now? Does
yeah, they
it
go ahead and do their
do
own
they
maps,
do
don't
their
they?
own stuff now for World of
Yeah,
Tanks? Is there some
yeah,
kind of backdoor we're really still developing for both kind of thing?
yeah. That's interesting,
That's
isn't
a
it?
whole nother subject. Yeah,
Yeah.
Diablo says most players don't play it. Well, it gets played a lot. Whoever's playing it, somebody's playing it. I mean, I don't know. What is it? What does it look like in terms of total numbers? It's a fairly low density tank, but where is it? It's pretty far down, isn't it? Not that far down. It's in the middle. I mean, there's plenty of. Let's go with just heavies, just to make it a little easier to see what's going on here. I mean, it's the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's the ninth most played tank.
For those who have it are playing it a lot.
Yeah. So I mean, and I know what he's saying. I think part of what he's saying is that the the really good players don't play it a whole bunch,
Yeah.
and often they're doing something else. They're three marking some other tank or grinding out something else or whatever. But it's still a toxic tank, and it needs something done to it.
Yeah.
And that's not really the point of the discussion right now. Anyway, it's just it's the overarching idea of
Yeah.
who are we developing for today,
Yeah.
vice yesterday. And I'm not saying
Well,
I'm not saying there's a right answer. I'm just saying I think it's an interesting discussion.
well, it is an interesting discussion. I think Attack Crows has actually made a good point. The balancing of tanks is due to the split of wargaming, meaning that EU and NA now separate from the RU. There is some hope of having some decent balance because they haven't got 1.5 million players screaming about Russian tanks need to be the best in the game. Perhaps.
But I don't know, right? Because we have zero SA on what Mad Tanker. Thank you so much for the
Oh, you've had a
follow.
follow. That tanker followed.
Yeah, ninth most played and less than 20% in the garage. I think it gets played plenty. Yeah, dude, that's a great question, and I don't have an answer for that one either. I don't know. How do they start to diverge?
Yeah.
Is Russian bias real? I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Well, if it's not real, it's certainly a consideration. We've played this game long enough to know that if you're in a Soviet tank, it's I don't know if it's a feeling. There's no hardcore evidence behind it. But if you're in a Soviet tank and you're playing it, you tend to do a little bit better than you would if you were in an English or dare I say it, an American tank or a French tank.
I don't think the numbers don't show that though, Pilgrim.
That's what I mean.
I
The
mean,
numbers don't, do they?
if there were numbers that showed Russian tanks are superior in some kind of macro sense, that those would be easy to find and they'd be all over the place.
Right.
I think there are certainly powerful Russian tanks,
Right.
but the Chieftain is not Russian. The 279,
No.
279 early is Russian.
Yeah.
I think to a large extent just because of the mechanics of the game, and I don't know if this was by happenstance or on purpose. Only the developers know. Just the way the mechanics work in the game tends to favor, in many cases, the Russian tanks, with the
Right,
sloping
okay. Yeah,
and the
that makes-
angling
yeah.
and the spaced armor, all that kind of stuff. It just kind of
Yeah.
works for Russian
Yeah.
tanks.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's on purpose or not.
Yeah. Well, here's old dog's thrown one in there. You look at Concept 1B, it's the T29, because we can segue straight into the T29 discussion if you wish.
Yeah, go for it. I'm just thinking something right now.
Right, T29. I see no reason whatsoever, and this is a personal view, and I don't know what stats or data that Wargaming has put together to actually see this. I see no reason at Tier 7 for the T29 to be nerfed. It is one tank that is good hull down, but it has its weaknesses if it's not hull down. How many times are you going to get into that perfect hull down position in your T29? I would say it's no more than 50% of the time. I mean, I absolutely love it when it's hull down, but I don't think it's that overpowered, given that it is a one-trick pony. Hull down, spotty dog. Anything else, it's easily beaten. So why are you nerfing the only thing that... And the other thing that gets me, I like this game because we've played it for, in my case, 8, 9 years, your case, 11 years, nearly 12. It's an iconic tank. Why mess with it? It is something that... it's. Do you know what I feel personally about this? Why are you doing that to the T29? It was my first top tier tank, because back in the day it was the top tier. And now you're just making it a mediocre heavy to sit there and get wallied by every premium tank that you want to throw out there. Oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Gruntle. So what?
Yeah. Thanks, Mad Tanker. I just bought that actually. There's a long story behind that as well. Well, here's someone just mentioned check it out versus German tanks, and this is tier 8, right?
Yeah.
Russian, 3 Russians, 1 German, Russian, a German. Tech tree tank. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of the top 10 premiums in win rate, 8 of them are Russian. I guess it's a good point. It's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, the data is there, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, and
is what's the number of battles played though, Guido? Is it because they're played more often?
Well, the Tiger 2 is the most played, interestingly.
Right.
Lurva, which is a good credit maker. We got the IS-3. It's still pretty much Russian. It's leans towards Russian because there's only 3 Germans in there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's a good point, I guess. But I think that goes back to some extent to what I was talking about earlier, that the game mechanics favor the Russian tanks. Like, the German tanks have big square armor.
Yeah.
So the heat shell eats it up.
Yeah.
Unless you put a really good angle on it. So the Russian tanks are more forgiving. You can kind of herder into amongst them, and you're going to get some bounces. Almost no matter what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
A German tank you can bounce and do well with, but you got to know what you're doing in terms of dealing with the mechanics of the game.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some very, very good German tank players because they know their tank and they play it to its strengths, and I get that. Completely right. I think the Russian tanks are more forgiving to the less developed player. So that's probably why it sits, Russian tanks sit so high. Just coming on to a point there that El Skinto wants to say, is the T29 the best Tier 7 heavy? No, it's not, in my opinion. I think the IS is one of the best. I think the T29 is great at positional play when it's in its right position. Outside that, it's not much else than any other tank. So the only thing that Wargaming is going to do is nerf the only one good thing about that tank. So, yeah, I do think that the IS is tank for tank is a better tank.
Yeah, but
for all-round ability.
The stats favor the T29 though, Pilgrim, by miles.
Well, because people will play it hull down. People will play it to its strengths.
Although the ISs are right behind it. Let's just get rid of. Let's just go with regular, because I was looking at this earlier. The VZ44 is actually better in terms of win rate by a little bit, although it's played a whole lot less. But the rest of it, I think, goes to the T29. DPG, frags, damage ratio, kill to death, survival. So this is a perfect example. Pretend premiums didn't exist, and somebody said they bounce around money. 100%, I'm with you there. But let's for a moment pretend all that is not in the game, and all you have are tech tree tanks. If you remove all that, which is kind of a silly exercise because that's not what we have, but just for a little mind game at this point, it is, other than win rate, it is certainly an overperforming tank and probably would deserve some kind of nerf.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you were doing stuff like that, you would probably buff things like the M445, which they are actually going to do, and things like the Black Prince.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you definitely have some things that are poor performing, but they kind of do this random, whack-a-mole. That guy, maybe that guy over there, but not that guy, and that just it's random in my opinion.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like there's any structure to it, does it? It's like whatever screams the loudest gets smacked the hardest, isn't it?
Yeah. Mad Tanker, I did not buy it. Build it. I have built all my rigs for years and years. I wanted to do it the easy way. It turned out to not be the easy way because I ended up having to send it back and had all kinds of problems.
Yeah.
So I bought it from ABS, and sorry ABS, I would not recommend that to anybody. Hey guys, we've been on it for an hour. We're going to take a 5-minute break so we can hit the head.
Need a new cup of tea.
And we need new coffee. So go make yourself a coffee or a tea. We'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. All right, we are back. Yeah, so I think that's a good discussion we were having about the T-29, and you mentioned, the Russians, the Russian server getting mad about things and being able to influence it, and then you definitely have an opinion on the T-29.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that's really interesting. Those thoughts of like, how do you balance? Do you crush people's dreams? Because the other one that's getting pretty hammered is the M44. And there's definitely a lot of M44 fans out there.
Yes, I think for me, And I've been reading chat, it seems to be very much a polarizing discussion about the
Yeah.
T29.
Yeah.
You either think leave it alone, or you think yeah, it's definitely overpowered. For me, it's the iconic nature of that particular tank for the game. Wargaming produced that T29 back in the day, top tier tank. It has history. It is, in my opinion, one of the iconic tanks of the game. And why mess with it? It's just one tank. Just leave it alone. You know what I mean? Just leave it alone. Let it do its thing.
Well,
It's not hurting anybody.
here's another thing though. What there's an overarching thing that benefits the T29 in the game right now. What is that?
Cruise.
Well, someone mentioned cruise. That's good. Yeah, people have good cruise. But it performs well right now in the game, and has, but it, definitely right now, Oxford nailed it. The hold down meta.
Okay, yes, absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? It is
Yeah.
it is a benefit, a benefactor, benefiting, whatever. It benefits from the overall hold down meta
Yeah.
because it can take advantage of it. Really
Yeah.
strong turret, hard hitting gun, lots of depression.
Right.
You know, so let's nerf the Kron is going through the same thing. The Kron is benefiting from a meta that's developed, and then it's going to get a hammer. Not necessarily because it's a great tank, but part of that is some of it. Is it's a good tank, but also
I
the hold down
can't get
meta.
that. I just can't understand the logic behind that. You have in game a meta, and you have certain tanks that are better at that meta than others, irrespective of meta. There could be the hold down meta, there could be the speeding to a bush by a light tank meta, there could be anything you introduce. The game has it has its way of playing it. To nerf a tank because it's good at the meta that it was designed to be is just stupid.
Yeah,
There's no reason for that. Okay, the meta is hold down. It's hard to dig tanks out, and with the artillery nerfs and all the rest of it, it's difficult. But it's part of the game. It's
Right,
part of the
right.
challenge.
Well, I mean, it
Why
leaves
make
part of the
easy?
calculus out, right? It's part of the equation is missing. They're not touching the reasons for the hold down meta, the maps
Yeah.
and the
Yeah,
corridor stuff
exactly.
and all the things. But
Yeah.
but they will then smack a tank that's good in the meta, which is an
Yeah.
interesting kind of half the problem at the
Yeah.
end of the day.
Yeah.
It did. I don't think it used to be that great of a tank. It was good, but recently it just came into its own with the hold down thing.
Yeah, yeah. No, I get that. I get that.
I mean, I don't think
But
people
it's in the game, isn't
like.
it?
There was a time when people didn't think the T29 was that great.
No,
Like,
people skip past it.
yeah, like a Tiger One would just eat it alive. You caught that thing out with a Tiger One, and with that really when it used to be really fast firing. Unless the T29 was hold down, it was dead meat.
Well, that's it. That's what I'm saying. It's a fairly mediocre tank unless it's hold down. And that was his one. As I said before, and somebody's already agreed with me. If it's a one-trick pony, you're now taking that trick away from it.
Yeah.
So it's a mediocre heavy tank, and what the heck, It's,
Yeah, it is kind of average, except for and
Yeah.
Pig nailed it down right there. It's largely driven by maps and rotation and stuff. And then just the very. Now this is wide ranging because there's a lot of other stuff involved here, but huge alpha guns, auto loaders and auto reloaders. The reason it's so hold down and campy and careful is because you can be out of the game so fast.
yeah, exactly.
So there's a lot of stuff in there. Every time Wargaming tries to speed the game up, people will get more careful.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, it changed. It changed people's play style. So
Right.
and I understand that. And what is Wargaming trying to direct the way each individual player plays or each group of player plays? They have this idea how you should play it, but like we've said before, once it gets out into the wild, it's free and easy. You know what I mean? It's just, I just find it. I think it's this whack-a-mole thing. They've seen the T29 stats. They've gone, oh, crikey. I don't think they've had a million people writing in going, I hate the T29, get it out of the game, blah,
Right,
blah, blah.
right.
They may have about the M44. They may have had complaints about the M44, and I understand that, but I don't think they've had that many complaints about the T29. I think it's just a circumstance, I think.
Well, it's low-hanging fruit because they can look at the stats and they can make an argument off the stats.
Yeah,
that it's overperforming, and a lot of people are playing it. And even though it is played stock on occasion, it still overperforms.
Yeah.
I'm not advocating for it. I'm just telling you probably what the
Oh
stance
yeah,
is.
no, totally get that.
But if we then, which has been my argument multiple times now, our thought experiment was to take the premiums and reward tanks out. Now put them back in. And does it make that much sense? Well, no, because you're not considering doing anything about problem tanks that are premiums and rewards.
Yeah.
So for me,
it's
you
not
lose
across the board, is it? Yeah.
right. You lose credibility when you're talking about balance, and you're only going to touch tech tree tanks.
Yeah. But they won't touch premiums because that's where the money is. So,
Right.
like any business, any company, that's where the money is. If they make the tank mediocre, nobody's going to buy it. Money's not coming in.
So then, if
So
you're
they have
cynical, the whole reason for nerfing the tech tree tanks is to make your premiums more powerful. Even if
just about to come to that.
even
Just
if
about
it's
to come to that.
yeah, even if it's not a conscious decision, that is de
No.
facto what happens.
Exactly
Right.
that. And I think subconsciously they know that is happening. They know that if you nerf the tanks that can stand up to the premiums, then by default the premiums become OP.
Yeah, and that's my complaint with it.
people buy
I would respect them more if they just. I don't know if they would admit as such. If they just said, "No, we're not touching them." I know they've sort of said they're not going to touch them, but yeah, it has the visual on it is the optics on it are bad.
Yeah.
That was a lot from Malinovka. They're messing with the cap circles too. There you go.
Yeah.
They mess with the cap circles.
Yeah.
What else we got here? We got some rebalance stuff. Let's go down here and take a look. Oh, so the Udarny, we can touch on this real quick. This is another Soviet heavy tank. It's had some stats changed. The gun is a little bit worse off than it was, apparently overperforming. The thing had a 1400 APCR.
Yeah.
A heavy tank with a 1400. They nerfed it down
Yeah.
to 1100.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the full stats are on this thing. I haven't seen it. Although some people have said they've seen it on EU being played by super testers or whatever,
Okay.
or by wargaming employees.
Okay. I've seen. I don't know if that.
Well,
it's the
Diablo
same
says
thing.
it has the 260 hull and turret shape, or the actual numbers as well,
Okay.
because it's a tier 8, right?
That would be interesting.
I think it's a tier 8. Might be a 9. I don't know. I think it's tier 8 though. At 9,900 gold, which is I think what they changed it to. That sounds more like a tier 8. All right. You have to whisper that deal. Here, let me just give you. You're a trusted agent. I'm going to make you a moderator, a mod, so you can do stuff like that. Where is it? There we go.
All
right.
Put a link into Two Line Push as well for anybody who wants to find Two Line Push.
Try to put that link back in, Diablo. It should work now.
Six Pack Daddy said there was some more maps being worked upon, and the information's on Two Line Push.
Okay. I think we talked
I
about.
thought he was talking. Yeah, sorry.
So further down here, I wanted to, and that's how mods are born. Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it? Where is it? That's the premium shop crap. A little further. A little further. I'm not going to worry about the Italian stuff. They've messed with the Italian stuff. Oh, here's a fun one. You know what this game needs, Pilgrim?
Oh, let me think. An auto-loading IS tank.
Ah, that's excellent. We have one.
Oh, do we? Oh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you read their mind, or they read your mind. I don't know. Something.
Nerf the T29 and give us an auto load at IS. Brilliant.
Yep. The KV-1SA USSR Tier 5 gift. Reverse autoloader with 6 shells. What could go wrong?
Dear, oh dear. Oh dear. Yeah. You see, that's why the T29 was nerfed. So now that tank can go out and destroy the T29. That's what it's all about.
That's what, 660 alpha burst?
Good.
Reload between shells is 1 second.
Of course it is.
Oh my goodness
Of course
gracious.
it is. I mean, this is super test, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it's speculation as it's the well-deserved reward.
Really? Okay.
KV-1S Tier 5. 660 burst.
It's going to be a beast, isn't it?
Well, its
No matter
accuracy
how
is kind of crap at 0.43. What's the reload for everything? You have to add it all up, I guess. For quite a long time, actually. 9, 15, just 21, 28, 37 seconds or so to get all of them.
Yeah, but you wouldn't go through the 6 shells, would you? You know, you. Oh,
No.
it's not a. It's not. Yeah. Is it an auto reload?
It's like the IS-3A. It works the way the IS-3A. It's an auto
Right,
reloader.
okay.
It's not an autoloader. It's
Yeah.
an auto reloader, and it's the reverse
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
interesting. Loader, driver, radio man. Oh, commander. Oh, okay, so
Loader.
the driver's a loader, and the radio man is a loader. That's a weird setup. Wait, commander, loader,
Wait,
driver,
no.
radio man, loader. I don't know what
2
that's.
loaders, a driver, a radio.
guess,
Where's,
yeah.
where's the gunner? Commander must be the gunner.
Yeah. Awesome. Let's see what we got here. Yep, total reloads about 37 seconds, like I said. Beautiful. So anyway, that thing's on its way. Good luck. Good luck, Tier 5. We're counting on you. We're counting on you. Let's see. I think we have. This is the Udariny. Okay, these are the stats. Now let's check this out. Thank you, Diablo. All right, so here's what we got. Oof. Goodness.
Yeah, look at that, man. Oh my goodness. Oh, hang on.
I didn't realize the
Yeah.
260 had that little dude there.
No, I didn't. That's
Huh.
interesting, isn't it?
I never really looked at it that closely. It does have.
But it is quite well angled, though. You'd have to get quite low below that tank to be able to take that opportunity.
That seems about as large a hatch as you will see in a Russian tank, though. It's not a big Tuma, but it's
No,
not tiny by any means.
no,
But that's pretty damn strong. I mean, look at this turret. Holy cow.
I know. It's just red, isn't it? It's just a shade of red, and that's it.
So
Nothing else there.
Is it a tier 8? Yes, it is. Wow. Brutal. What do we got here? We got 390 alpha. That's about standard. 221 pin with a standard round. Why not? What's the gold round? Awesome. Dispersion looks like they don't have those in yet, but it's been changed to 0.40, I think.
Right.
Reloads about 12 seconds, 11 seconds. Top speed's 45. What?
What's its reverse? Not that we worry about. Reverse speed 12. Look,
Why does it need to go 45?
because it's a breakthrough tank.
Reverse.
That's why.
Reverse is a little slow, so that's
Yeah.
gun elevate. Depression is 6. Huh. View range 380. Interesting. So that's probably some kind of. Oh, the APCR. That's the APCR. Where's the other round? Where's the other? How do I change that? Why can't I change that? Or do they not have it in there yet? What's this stuff? Oh, that's Field Mods. Can I do it here? There we go. 285 for the heat. And then it's got its HE round, so 285, 221. There you go.
Yeah, it's not massively penetrate. It's not massively, but its armor is, well, seems to be absolutely impenetrable.
El Skinto, it is the Udarni, which I believe is essentially a 260 prototype, more or less, at tier 8. I don't think the I don't think the 260 has that. I could be wrong. I'm gonna go find mine. Hold on a second.
But it is, yeah. Pig says most will aim too low at it over angle. Yeah, I mean, to get that weak spot.
Yeah, see, its hole is slightly different than that. That's a slightly different hole than the 260. The 260 does not have that flat bit. 260 doesn't have this kind of flattened thing going on right here. So the hole is slightly different. But like I said,
again,
it's a prototype.
To get at that plate, you've got to be seriously under the tank.
Yeah, it's still strong either way you slice it, because when you go to the live, it's still a strong kind of. Although if you get it underneath it, then it's a little bit better.
Yeah, I mean, but that has to climb a ridge for you to get at that.
Yeah.
There's nowhere on the, there's no like dip in the map you can sit in to get at that.
So this is crazy. Even because of how angled that is, you still have a very strong piece of armor, even when you're kind of flat plating it from the side.
Yeah.
This lower spot's a little bit easier, but you got to get through the. It's hard to see what's going on with that.
Does that go through the tracks? That'll go through the tracks, does it? It's difficult to see.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's thinner armor, but it's pretty well angled.
Yeah.
This is a weird little situation here where it's green, but of course you've got the tracks and stuff in the way too, right there.
Yeah.
And it's a very thin roof, like most tanks. Cool. So that thing's on the way. All right, let's take a look at some of the nerfs, because we sort of got into the T29 stuff, but the 103 is getting a buff. What I don't see here is any mention on armor, and I thought they were going to do something with the turret, but unless I just missed it, I don't see any differences in the turret. But most of it, you got to be careful, because this is turret 1 and gun 1. This is the smaller 105, and then this is the 120, which is what people are going to use more than likely. Dispersion changes, more hit points, up to 1,950. There's really no benefit to the gun. There's actually a nerf on the turret traverse, which I don't know. There's more ammo. That's nice.
But it's got a third gun, hasn't it? It's got the 120 just below that.
Yeah, you're right. There's another gun, and it just has some very small buffs. So there's just really not a lot going on here. The stock gun gets a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's very strange. There's not a lot being buffed there, to be honest.
Very, very, very balanced.
Want to see the double barrel American heavy. T32. This one definitely needs help. And again, I don't know. The second gun is getting some dispersion stuff. Aim time's faster, okay. Slightly faster reload. The upshot is, though, the DPM is going from 2130 to 2225, which is, I guess, significant. I don't know. The pen is the big one it's getting, though. Then this has been well needed. It actually got a pen buff a while back, but it's getting another one. So it's going from 208 to 218, and the gold round is going all the way to 252.
Wow.
Still not great. I mean, 252 is pretty anemic still against tier 10s.
Yeah. But I guess they've done something. But, it's
a very small buff.
Yeah.
Very small buff. And I think there's some more stuff here. We got the lower tier stuff, which, well, here's the debuff to the T29 we're talking about. So it's getting Oddly, gun 2, the 90 millimeter, is getting buffed to a fairly significant 2,861 DPM, but the pen on that thing is not amazing. The 105, which is the one everyone loves, is going to take longer to aim. The reload time is going up by almost 2 seconds. The rate of fire is coming down considerably. The DPM is going from 1757, which is not a lot to begin with, dumping all the way down to 1,517.
Yeah.
But I will say this, again, because it's the hold down meta that makes this thing strong, much like the 122 TM, I think it's certainly going to hurt it, and it's going to fall off of its high horse, but it isn't going to make it completely useless. It will still be able to do the hold down turret thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. Once they do it, I'm going to purposely take it out for, I want to say, 25, 30 battles, and we'll see what we get from it. I know it's a small sample size, but we'll see.
Right.
Because it is one of my better performing tanks at the moment. So I'll take it out and run it and just see if it feels vastly different, if it feels less capable. And that will just be a personal opinion and a feeling as opposed to, real life stats, because 30 battles is nothing. But I'll do that. It will.
It's certainly going to hurt it. I'm not pretending that it's going to be as good as it was. That's going to hurt. I mean, that's pretty anemic on the DPM. I thought I read they were going to mess with the turrets somehow, but I don't see any of that at least in these numbers. I don't see any indication of that. And then the lower tier stuff is getting buffed as well. So I'm not going to go through it.
But then the T32 is getting a bit of a buff, isn't it?
Well, sort of. We just looked at that. It's not much.
No.
The pen is the big thing for it. The pen is the big thing. That will be helpful.
Yeah.
But we're talking the special shells only going from 45 to 52.
Yeah.
And that's against the tier 10. That just does not do much of anything.
It doesn't do anything, does it? No. I mean, I know what probably the reasoning behind that was that they didn't want to create a T29 at the next tier, which they could well do with the T32, because it is, it is a hybrid T29 as far as I can say.
Now here's a head scratcher. Here's an absolute head scratcher. Hey, we want to buff the T32, but just to show that we're all about balance, for some reason it needs to have 10 meters nerfed off of its view range.
Why was it a spotter?
Did
people use it as a light tank?
I can't even, man.
Yeah.
Completely unnecessary. I don't get it. All right, so
Hey, come on.
No, you go. You go.
ODog actually encapsulates, if that's the right word, how I feel about the T29. He's saying, as a poor casual free-to-play player, the T29 is pretty much my end game tank, and it is for a lot of people. That is, the ultimate.
It's a good point.
Tank, isn't it? And it was for a long time, and it probably would have still been.
But that goes back to follow the money, right?
Well, yes,
they're
exactly
not really that concerned with that player. They want to turn that player into a paying customer.
Yeah,
that's always the goal with free to play. Yeah, that's always the goal with free to play. Yeah, we want some extra people around to fill the matchmaker and play the game, so that the paying players have more people to play against. But ultimately, what we really want to do is draw them in and have them spend some money.
Yeah, no, I understand that. So, yeah.
So we talked a little bit about this at the beginning with the Kunze-Panzer when I was discussing that, but I have found, and I think other people have found this well before me, and it has a lot to do with 3 marking and stuff as well, is that the vision stuff is starting to become, or maybe it already has and I just missed it because I'm slow like that, become more and more important, especially for mediums. And not all maps can do this, but still, things like CVS on mediums and optics and all that stuff, especially if you're trying to do 3 marking because you want to maximize assist damage / just find people who are hiding in bushes, because they always are.
Yeah.
I have found that putting a CVS on my Kunze-Panzer has been absolutely game-changing in a lot of ways.
That's left of field, isn't it? That's a decision you've made that you've plucked right from out there and brought it in, because For me, it's not the equipment to put on a medium. But then who's right? Who's to say what equipment you should put on a light tank, a medium tank? You can play it how you like. So that is very interesting what you've done there.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I'm not saying it's not revolutionary. This is something that a lot of people have been doing for a long time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, man. So I switched it out a little bit. I already discussed this, but I had kind of a hybrid combat. I added the CVS and got rid of, I think, the Vert Stab or something like that.
Yeah.
Now I've got a Pure Vision set up with vents, CVS, and optics, and I've got a combat set up with turbo vents and a rammer,
Right.
just to get around a little faster and whatnot and try to chase damage and stuff. But we'll see how this Pure Vision setup, if it changes anything. I had a proc game with 8,000 spotting. I went up on the big hill. We did okay up there, and things got stagnated. And I saw the 1-2 line was struggling a bit, so I flexed all the way across there, got up in there, and just started spotting stuff. And then the snipers just had absolute field day.
Yeah. But you wouldn't naturally go there with a medium unless you've got it set up like you've got it. So that takes a little bit of thought, doesn't it? Which is all credit to you, to be honest.
Well, there were no scouts left, and I don't know if there were any in the game to begin with. So obviously that's a benefit to somebody running a medium with a CVS. You're going to have a harder time against a scout because their camo is so much better. They carry it while they move, all that stuff. Yeah. But this thing, there was nobody else with a CVS, apparently, because I was able to pop up light stuff. A couple times I got spotted, but I didn't care because I spotted them and then I backed out. Because I'm working near the little bowl on the one line, so I'm not on the one line. I'm where I can back down and at least be somewhat safe. But I'd pop up, they'd get seen, and then at the T95 and a couple other guys in the E100, and they're just like.
But the other thing you've got is that because you're in a medium, if you are spotted and you do take a hit, your armor is somewhat slightly better than a light tank, so you can afford to take a hit.
Right.
So it keeps your survivability as the spotter.
Yeah.
More than it would do if you're in a light tank,
And I think a lot of very good players would recommend that a lot with the CVS or optics on their mediums, so that you can flex to that. Especially when you get to mid to late game, you've got to start digging people out of bushes, and that's just going to help you do it. Thanks for the follow there, Todd Hunter. Much appreciated. Welcome. Ooh. This is Coffee Talk, where we just babble about World of Tanks and gaming in general and other stuff and whatever comes to mind.
Loads of other stuff, anything that comes to mind.
Whatever comes to mind. So there you go. Kunza Panzer right now, I'm 14th on the server, but it's not a very good score, and it's early in the month, so looks a little bit.
So
like
you were
this.
mentioning your 100 battle challenges is just not dropped by the wayside, but you're focusing more on tanks that you like to play.
Yeah. So this one I'm enjoying, so this one's not bothered me. I've played it a lot in the last few days. I'm up to 80-something, so right now I'm looking at the tanks I have left. I'm going to try to play stuff I like. I'm playing the E75 TS. I'm enjoying that. That's a good tank, so it doesn't bother me. But some of the more painful tanks to play, we'll see if I ever get there. I don't know. But I'm 12th, but 4,481 is not a really great score. So by the end of the month, all the top 10 will probably be easily in the 5,000s. Still, though, doing okay.
Yeah.
I was able to get the win rate back up above 50 because I was down at like 46 at one point. I had an epic losing streak in the thing.
I think you've got to work through that. Sometimes it's hard to do that though. When you're on your 18th battle and it's either been a loss or a draw, and you're like, I can't do this anymore. It's hard work. Yeah. I
thought I might 2-mark it, but I don't think I will before 100, so I'd have to come back at it to probably get the second mark on it.
Oh, okay.
But the wins are coming back, so
yeah,
I like it. It's actually a pretty good little tank. The whole hit X thing is semi-useful, I think, at times. Right. I generally play it without going into the siege mode, but occasionally I'll use it in the right position. There are places where you can get to that. You've got some really good cover and that extra. The thing I don't like about the siege mode hydraulic thing is the pause before it starts to happen.
Yes.
The STB has that. This thing has that. It's all good. You can look wherever you want. Then when you hit that pause, it's like then the hydraulics go. But as far as when you're scooting back and forth and trying to fine tune a shot, it's a little bit discombobulating.
That's the word.
Yeah,
that's the word. That's a Mary Poppins word. That is.
I get all discombobulated.
Yeah, dibby-dibby-dobbity-doo.
But in the right situation, it's pretty good.
Yes, yeah, and you're not going to come across that situation all the time, but yeah, I mean, you know me, I hate the extra button press for any of the tanks.
Yeah, you don't like
all these
X.
Tanks
X is right out.
Why have I got to press anything else
right
to make
out.
this work?
So, what do you guys think, man? Are you guys on board with the vision setup for medium tanks? Not light tanks, but for medium tanks. Is that pretty standard for everybody? I don't know what that actually gives me. I didn't look too closely, but let's see what we have with the vision setup over here. We get 47 view range with this particular setup. We get this burn through stuff for the CVS, so that's pretty good. My camo is decent at 27 for stationary. That's not bad. It's 21 for moving, which is okay.
It is okay. You've only dropped 6%.
Yeah. Then the rest of it's just kind of standard stuff. I do lose a little bit of DPM and stuff, obviously. If I go over to this other one, my DPM goes from 2755 to 3000. That's fairly significant.
Yeah, isn't it? Yeah.
Speed with the turbo gets me up to... Let's gotta look at mobility here. Gets me up to 70, so it cooks along. That's max speed, though. I think that's the same for both, isn't it? No, turbo adds 5, right? Yeah, turbo adds 5. That's right. Yeah. So there's 5 more top end, and you get there a little faster. So interesting, man. I'm really starting to. I haven't done this a lot, but I'm starting to work on the 2 different setups for tanks. Mostly just I'm lazy and I don't want to set them up, but.
Well, that's my problem. I'm too lazy to sit and go through it all and work it out. I just play the tank as it comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But there is a definite advantage. Pig is absolutely right. Equipment 2.0 and the field mods have allowed people to generate tanks on a min-max basis.
Yeah.
And those that aren't lazy, that's not me. Those that aren't lazy are maximising everything they've got. And they get a choice before they load into battle how they're going to play, which is great. I think it's marvelous, and everything else I just can't be bothered.
Yeah, I sort of went in that whole thing going, I'm gonna ignore it for now, and we'll see how it goes. But I think I'm at the point where you can't ignore it anymore. So you need
feel the pain now.
Yeah, you got to start setting up your stuff to the best possible way for your play style and use the tools that are there, or you're just going to get out competed, especially at higher tiers. Yeah. The CVS thing's a great example. If I'm running around in my old setup with just a vert stab rammer and vents, and I'm on proc and I'm trying to win a late game, and I got another Kunza that's running around with CVS and optics, I probably lose that despite having more DPM and all that stuff. Who cares? He sees me.
Yes.
Before I see him, and it's over.
That's the frustration that comes in, and I think at some point that frustration is going to make me go and deal with this and sort my tanks out, because I'll be in my light tank and I'm being outspotted every time, and I'm thinking, I hate this. Every time I poke my nose above the ridge, boom, off the light bulb goes.
Yeah.
And, a typical example is Overlord. When you do the 8-9 line, you can't get away with not being able to burn through those bushes anymore.
Dude, that's right. I had that yesterday. I talked about it on stream. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a great example, because I got all kinds of shots and spotting off this thing doing that. And I'd hit X on that one, because there's a couple spots where the hydraulics matter. And I just creep up with that CVS, and then I'm burning through the bushes on the other side, and dudes are getting shot, and they don't know, they don't see me.
They don't even see it. No, exactly.
Which explains a lot to me why when I go pop up in the bushes, in the past right there, say there's no scout or the scout's dead, and I'd pop up and get spotted anyway. I'm like, why am I being spotted? Well, somebody over there has a medium with the CVS, and they're seeing me.
And they're just burning through.
Yeah.
And decent enough camo that you can't see them.
And on that position on Overlord, if you can keep forcing them back, and you can own the ridge where you get to sit there and they can't push you back, that's a huge advantage right there. Yeah, absolutely.
I
wanted to show Stickler. So this is my vision setups, events, CVS, and optics. I don't know. I've had some discussions with people on whether you want to put your CVS in the vision slot. Field mods are finished on this one, or your optics. I think it's CVS. The optics are nice to put there; it gives you a little more burn through. But that extra on the CVS is pretty good. And then I've got the combat setup, which I'm still playing with a little bit. Right now, it's turbo in the mobility slot, vents in the other bonus slot, and then I've got a rammer.
Yeah.
Doctor Who says CVS in the vision slot. I think that's kind of the consensus.
Right.
From what I remember anyway. So there you go. Check out some vision stuff in your mediums, and especially at the high tiers, and let me know how it goes. I think it's probably, I'm going to call it the wave of the future, although I think there's probably a lot of players who are going, Guido, you're a year too late. That may be. It's very, very well may be.
I mean, it's 2 years too late by the time I sit down and work it all out. But that's all right. They'll have moved on to something else like Crew 2.0 next year.
Yeah. See, for me, it's been difficult for me to let go of the vert stabs and the rammers and the stuff that helps me shoot.
Yes. Yeah.
But
yeah,
you can get away with less of that if you are spotting and remaining unspotted and such. And you know what I'm saying? Yeah, if you're going to go to the brawling point where you're going to get seen no matter what, then okay, bring your firepower stuff. But if you're going to try to play around the edges a little bit more and be a little more careful, then you probably need to prioritize the vision stuff a bit and the speed stuff.
Yeah.
There you go.
See, and with that also, because you can change your equipment loadout before the game starts, you can look at the opposing team, you can look at the map, you can look at your own team, and you can make that decision there and then.
Right.
Am I going to play the medium scout, or am I going to up armor and go and play punchy face?
Right. Yep.
So yeah, that is cool. I get it. I'm just too lazy to do it.
Yeah, I know. But I think that
it's a case of having to now, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that I've finally lost enough to that I probably need to join that. And definitely, if 4 tankers and a dog says it, it's probably correct in terms of numbers and the best equipment stuff. Right. All right, man. That's I think that's about everything I've got. You got anything to throw out there? Anybody got any questions or other stuff they want to chat about? We've been at it for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, EU mods are talking about EU versus NA today. Starts 7 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's 1200 Central, so in about 3 hours or so.
Yeah. And the Six-Pack Daddy was talking about the other maps that are coming into Super Test. There's a whole bunch of maps that they're playing around with at the moment. Whether we see them or not, it's the old map discussion. We're getting one September-ish, are we not? And then possibly one later on, but that's it. Yeah.
Diablo's mad about it. Did you send a link for it to me? Do you have a link? We'll take a quick look if you got the link. Is it a double barrel?
The S54.
Yeah, oh, that's right. I remember the S54. We've talked about it a couple times, but I haven't heard much about it. It's trash. Okay, let's check it out. S54. I'll go back over here and we'll call up old web browser. Here it is. First of all, let's take a look at what it looked like. Oh, wow. But not live. I need visual. There we go. All right, there it is. Interesting. Okay. Well, what's the stats?
Years of hitboxes. Oh my goodness.
280 alpha. Penetration 200. Oof. Only 252 with the APCR. So is that that's like 2 T-32 guns, isn't it? Although I think the T-32 might do more damage. Don't remember. Dispersion 0.42. Yikes. 3.36 aim time. What the?
Wow. Is it going to be the double barrel mechanics, the same as the...
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Let's go to T-56. No, not Skoda.
The
7032 and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. Those are pretty bad stats, man. What's its speed? 20 miles an hour? 20 kilometers an hour? 35? Okay.
Wow.
15 backwards. Depression. Only 8.
I thought you would hope that these are not the final stats, wouldn't you? You would really hope.
Only 8.
Wow.
Health. 1400, okay. Armor is 101 in the hull. Pretty good turret, 304. That's quite a bit. View range 380. A little bit low for a US tank. Interesting. So what does the armor model look like? Not great.
Oof, it's not, is it?
But that's like the largest lower plate I have ever seen.
Isn't it just? It's like boat size.
Look how big that thing is. Oh, and angling doesn't help too much. Anything with 200 is... Anything with
It's just-
200 is going through
Yeah.
that, almost no matter what angle until you get to something like that.
Diablo says, put the mouse over the ears on the turret, because they're just like hitboxes. They're just penetratable hitboxes on the ears.
Are they actual hit boxes, or do you still have to penetrate something behind it?
That's a good point. Nothing's changed.
Like, if I go right there... Okay, so that's nothing. But if I go right here, yeah, you're going through the turret. Looks like. Because it's behind it, right? The turret's right behind there.
Yeah, yeah. Weak spots indeed.
Why? That just is an opening into the turret for some reason. Look at that. Strong, strong, strong. No.
Yeah, yeah.
That's great.
And
Wait a minute,
all the while you've got the lower plate, the upper plate, and then the hatches on the top.
I mean, is there literally a hole back there? It says it's 150 spaced armor, but then it says it's 0 behind it. That's amazing. Wow.
Yeah, tier 6. Good tier 6 tank, says Jan. Good tier 7 tank, says El Skinto.
Wow. That's...
Yeah.
Well, now, hold on a minute. Oh, no, that's a little further back. That's very strange. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. I don't know if this modeling's correct. Is there really no... Yeah, I guess that's just angling, changing it. Because it's 150 millimeters, what it's saying. It doesn't appear to be anything behind it.
Well, put it into real mode as opposed to the color mode. Put it into...
Oh, okay, I see what's going on. It's a square.
see-
Okay, it's a square.
Yeah, you
Oh, it's
see
hard to
what it-
tell. So it's
Yeah.
just a hole into the turret.
Yeah,
That's what was going on. I couldn't figure out why the effective armor was changing, but as you change
Yeah.
the angle right here, obviously.
yeah.
But that thing right there just doesn't have any armor on it.
That's a glass.
Yeah,
Piece of
just a
glass.
viewport, yeah.
Yeah.
Ranging stuff or optics or whatever, but it's a hole straight into the turret. Oof.
Not good. Well, they may change all of that.
There's this thing too.
Yeah. Never mind, the lower plate at that angle is easily penned anyway. You've all got all those little
Yeah,
bits. Look at
yeah.
that
I mean,
there.
you would just go here anyway, and then if he's trying to go
Yeah.
hold down, you're going to go here. This is
Yeah.
a weak spot, but who cares? You're probably going to have these. If you can see this, you've got these.
Yeah,
Crazy.
yeah.
Now, if you go right a little bit though, you're going to get into the because of the angling on it. But still,
Yeah.
that's a pretty big spot, dude. I mean, look how big that
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
You got people who can snipe hatches like this. Now you've got 3
Yeah.
places to go for. And if you miss high over here, then maybe you also go through his hatch.
Yeah, there is that, isn't there? You only need to be 2 inches higher. You've got the hatch. There
Yeah.
you go.
Oh crap!
So who
Yeah,
cares
so
about dispersion?
so shoot the left one, folks, because if you go
Yeah.
high and slightly right or whatever, you might still go through his hatch.
Yeah, dear. Oh, dear.
21 seconds for 560. Oh my goodness. Yikes. All right, cool. I think that's it, man. I think I've said all the words I'm going to say.
Yep. Same as I. There is no competition today, guys. My apologies, but we're saving the money for the 31st, as you can see. And I've also had to pay for a vacation.
Jan Itor, what's happening? Yeah, really make waves at tier 6. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you guys' support as always. Coming to the coffee talks and all that. Like I said, we won't have one for the next 2 weeks. We will be back on the 31st of July. Got a big contest as Pilgrim has been advertising, so we're going to be giving away a significant amount of gold and some tanker tanks. And but I'll be chilling in England for a few weeks.
Be chilling in England for a few weeks as well.
There you go. All right, thank you, El Skito. Guys, that's all I've got from the left side of the Atlantic.
That's all I've got from the correct side of the Atlantic.
See ya.